Hey everybody, this is Rob Archangel of ArchangelInc.com, and today I want to answer the question, should I get a matte or a glossy finish for my CreateSpace book? And my short answer, in case you want to skip the rest of this video, is generally we recommend matte. I think it looks a little bit sharper, I think it looks a little bit more professional, and it looks a little bit less like a self-published book, which is ultimately, I think, what you're going for. If you're putting a book out there, you generally want it to look like a professional book. You want it to check off all of the marks so that people who are buying it don't think, I don't know, I don't really trust this, I don't know if this person really knows what they're doing. Instead, you want to make all of that recede into the background so they can focus exclusively on the content and the quality of your material. So, that said, let's talk a little bit about the history of us and some of the projects that we've done, and I'm going to give you some examples here of some books in both matte and glossy finish. So this is Eat for Heat. This is Matt Stone's book. This was one of the first projects that I did. This is back when Archangel Inc. wasn't even exactly an entity at this point. I think at this point we were just publishing Matt's books. I originally started off helping him publish his digital books in ebook format and in paperback, and eventually we did audiobooks and so on and so forth. Matt had at the time a very active website, 180 Degree Health, lots and lots of posts and comments and lots of engagement, and we wanted to expand the reach a little bit and make books available in different platforms for his audience and to expand his audience. And so we did. And so this was one of the first books that we did. It was a very, very good performer and actually ended up being a really good performer on Amazon. But this was an early proof copy, and there were a number of things that we did not do very well at this point that I didn't even realize that could go wrong. One of them, you'll take a look, you may notice that the banner at the top here doesn't even extend all the way to the edge of the spine. Now the spine, obviously, is not an especially long book. I think, it's around 100 pages or so. We might have been able to get a little bit of writing on there. I think the minimum threshold for CreateSpace is 100 or 105 pages, somewhere around there. I'll include a link down below for that. But they recommend generally, I think, 120 or 130 to actually have something written on the spine and to make it show up there. On the back, another thing that I didn't know at the time was there are, if you can see, there's a lot of graininess to the image. Even the text is a little bit fuzzy, and the text down here is a little bit better. The image is okay enough. I think it was the minimum 300 dpi. But the writing, it just wasn't very clear. It was very clearly a self-published book, and we don't want that. That's not our goal. Especially these days, we've done now hundreds and hundreds of books, and our goal is really to make it look indistinguishable from a professional book. I'll go on and show another one. Here is 12 Paleo Myths, which again has a lot of those same issues: graininess on the back, sort of poor font choices on the back, and graininess even along there. Part of that may be CreateSpace. I know occasionally they do have printing duds, they have printing issues, and I have heard of authors who are able to return their books to CreateSpace because a batch came out poor or poorly done, not formatted appropriately. But in general, this was just us in our learning phase, and so this is another proof copy. But you can see it is long enough to have a spine. I'm not sure if that's going to be legible on video, maybe. It does say 12 Paleo Myths and Matt Stone along the side there. But this is another example of a book in glossy. Let's move on to Review Per Star. This is written by Buck Flogging, and this was a lot better. I think this was one of the first books that we did that was in matte when they started offering that as an option. And you can see, you can actually read the text. The stylization is a little bit more appropriate. It's more coherent as well. It uses some of the same fonts and colors as the front of the book, and the book is deliberately a little bit provocative and Vegas showgirl-like and all of that. But we also have a professional image over here of Buck, and looks pretty good. So it's gotten better, but again, a little bit short and not able to really fit anything on the spine. Let's fast forward a little bit further, and here is The Low Carb Myth, and this is another book that we published. This is written by Ari Whitten, and he's published a couple of books with us, and he's very, very successful, really sharp, really astute guy. If you're interested in his material and health and fitness and the science of weight loss, he's really well researched and well read, so I encourage you to check him out. But you can see there are now a lot more of the elements of a traditional book, of a good-looking book. So you look behind this, and this looks like it could be published by Random House. You know, if I do say so myself, it's, you know, modeled after real books. We have headers, we have these the bullet points and the breaks over here, and nice looking headshots, little bios for the author, and the spine is actually big enough to offer, let's see if we can get the spacing or the lighting right, maybe not, but you can see, perhaps, if you're here with me, you can see that there is a potato on there, which matches the potato that's on the front of the book. A low-carb myth, we use similar fonts and stylization, and we also have Archangel Inc.'s logo, the old logo, which, oh yeah, that wasn't bad. Let's see, yeah, might be able to see that. So our Archangel Inc. old logo. And another thing that I'll mention is that you get better over time. You get better as you do more of this. And part of the reason that we exist, part of the reason that we encourage authors who are looking to really make a strong first impression to consider us, or, you know, some other self-publishing company, some other outside help, is you may not know what you don't know when you're starting out. And you can do this all on your own, and you can make it look okay and reasonable and good enough. And if you have a background in it, then you can certainly do a little bit better than somebody just starting off. But is it worthwhile for you to spend 2 months, 3 months, a year getting really good at layout and design? Or is it easier to hire somebody who already knows that, who's already produced dozens, hundreds of projects, and can make your book look really good and make it look like it belongs, make sure that you don't send off the alarm radars for potential authors, or excuse me, for potential readers, so they think, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or this lady is putting out something shoddy. We are here to help with that. So if that's of interest, obviously feel free to reach out to us. But the answer to the question of should I do a matte or a glossy finish, generally I would say matte looks better, but I will add one other caveat and one exception, and that is depending on your genre. For example, this is Real Food Recovery, written by Mandy Bloom, and this is a cookbook, and it's a little bit more common, I find, for cookbooks to have a glossy image. It's just sharper, it's more attractive, it's a full color book, and you can see various pictures inside, really sharp, really vibrant, and looks great. And this book, not only does it have a glossy cover, but the pages are a heavyweight paper stock that is also a little bit glossy. And again, I think that's by design, because for cookbooks, you know, you might accidentally spill some butter or olive oil or some salt or some, you know, glaze or something, and you want a book that's going to be a little bit resistant and going to be a little bit prone to holding up to, you know, possible kitchen use and, you know, kids and all that kind of thing. So depending on your genre, it may make sense to do a glossy book, but for the most part, the answer is for self-published books, we recommend matte, and I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Again, this is Rob Archangel of archangelinc.com. Thanks for tuning in, and check out next time.